Hi, everyone. My name's Alex. I'm a bookkeeper at American Bookkeeping Services. And yeah, today I thought I would just tell you guys 10 different things about me that maybe you don't know. Get to know who I am a little bit. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. So, when I was a kid, growing up, I was in the Cub Scouts, and then also I was in the Boy Scouts, and I became an Eagle Scout, which was it was a good journey. It was a fun time, and yeah, I ended up going to three of the high adventure camps. So there was Philmont, there was Florida Sea Base, and there's also one Northern Tier in Minnesota. So yeah, those trips were really fun. Got to canoe for 10 days, bring all of our food through lakes, the land of a thousand lakes. Yeah, really good memories of me being a scout. Lots of service projects, lots of camping in the mud and the rain. Yeah, great times at summer camp doing archery. We did lots of wilderness survival type stuff. Yeah, just a great time. Had a lot of time had a lot of fun doing that. So yeah, another thing about me, number two, is when I was in high school, I did rowing. So I was on the rowing team, the crew team. That was, if you've ever tried rowing before, you know it's really strenuous. You know it's a lot of work. But I had fun. It was good hanging out with people on the boat and rowing for multiple hours a day. And yeah, really good way to get in shape. And it was fun just meeting people and meeting other teams from other schools. And yeah, just getting to hang out during the race days, hanging out with people, eating snacks and stuff. So that was a fun time. Something else that you might not know is that I used to work at the Air and Space Museum in downtown DC. So yeah, I would give demonstrations on the forces of flight for kids. Things about lift, weight, drag, and thrust. And, space technology, living in space. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So when I was growing up, I watched a lot of TV like everybody does, but I watched a lot of shows about airplanes and some space, but a lot of about, fighter jets and the plane development of airplanes and the history of airplanes and things like that. So I ended up working at the Air and Space Museum for a while. That was a lot of fun, meeting people, and yeah, great time. I got to do some pretty neat demos on black holes, and gravitational lensing was really a fun demo. We did one on, I think it was spectroscopy. So being able to figure out what a star is made of based on the spectrum that it's emitting. So that was a lot of fun. I had a good time doing that. The next one is that I've taken flying lessons. So I took flying lessons in Florida. I went to college in Florida. And when I was there, I took flying lessons. So yeah, I did lots of lessons. I actually flew from Daytona to Gainesville to Cecil Field and back to Daytona all by myself. That was a good trip. You have to do a solo. So I did, that was one of my solos. The very first time I flew by myself there's actually turkeys near the runway. So I took off and I was flying around, and I was coming back, and there were turkeys that were getting close to the runway. So that made me nervous, but they were eventually, they were fine. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. got to, with my flight instructor, got to go really close to the runway. We flew over the landing strip at Kennedy Space Center. There's a runway there, so that was pretty cool at night. Something else that you might not know about me is when I was in college, I did martial arts, and yeah, that was a great time. I did a little bit of Taekwondo, and then I ended up getting into something called Hapkido. So yeah, Hapkido is somewhat like Taekwondo, but it's a little different because it's a lot of throws, and you still do kicks and punches, but it's really a great martial art, and it teaches you a lot about how your body moves and works, and like there's different joint locks. So think about like arm bars, knee bars, not as much ground fighting, I guess, as maybe like Brazilian jiu-jitsu or something. But yeah, look it up. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, it's neat to see, what you can do and have increase your confidence as a person. So yeah, something else. The next one that you may not know is that I was a NASA intern in Houston. So yeah, I interned there a couple times. I interned at the mission planning office. So there was there was several. There was an exploration mission analysis office, which was a great time. I had a lot of fun there. I also interned at the Flight Operations Directorate for a couple different, I think it was 2 times. So the Flight Operations Directorate is pretty neat. That's where the astronaut office is. That's where mission control, they do a lot of stuff with the flight controllers, all the, people who are helping plan things for the astronauts, helping them, kind of directing them what to do in their day, working with them. So yeah, that was a great experience. I had just, my favorite part of that was getting to meet all of the other interns and also, the people that already worked there, getting to meet them, and yeah, seeing all the great things that people were doing, all the interesting things that people were working on. Some people were working on expandable habitat modules. Some people they had a whole area where they would, they'd get to test batteries and heat them up and see what happens if you put too much current into them. There were people that worked at the Nutribuoyancy Lab, which is underwater and creating a buoyant environment. So it seems like for the astronauts, it seems like they're floating in space. It gives them the same kind of feeling. So yeah, that was a really great time. It opened my eyes to a lot of really interesting and creative things that engineers are doing. So yeah, I had a great time. One other thing I guess I should mention is that I bought a sailboat. So about 3 years ago, I think it would be 2022. Yeah. So in February of 2022, I bought a Pearson Vanguard sailboat, and yeah, I plan on sailing as far as I can eventually. So just to explore different places. When I was at the end of college, I watched a lot of YouTube videos about, I like learning things on YouTube. And so I watched a lot of sailing videos, and I found some channels that they sailed around the world. And so I thought that was a really cool idea. Obviously a lot of work. There's a lot of maintenance that goes into having a sailboat. I haven't sailed too much recently, but I'd like to. I have a couple projects that I need to finish up on that. So, doing solar panels, adding different things on the inside just to make it more livable. And it's an older boat, so it doesn't come with all the new electronics and things like that. So still working on that. But yeah, I'm excited to eventually get out and start sailing more and maybe go to places like Bermuda or even the Bahamas or even farther. So we'll see. Yeah, so I guess I kind of touched on this earlier. The next one is that I studied aerospace engineering and another degree called spaceflight operations when I was in school in Florida. I learned a lot, especially with engineering. I really learned about dedication, that you need to, how hard you need to work to really understand some technical concepts, especially in engineering. It takes a lot of time and effort practicing things. So yeah, I learned a lot. I had a good time. I learned about orbital mechanics, dynamics, thermodynamics, mechanics of materials, aerodynamics, right? So lots of neat classes. Learned a lot. I worked pretty hard. I also had a job while I was doing that, so I was pretty busy. But I like to stay busy. I like to always be doing something, and I like to push myself. So that's good. Yeah, another thing, I guess, at the end of my school career, or when I was about to graduate from college, I started learning Python. I started taking some classes, and not even taking classes. Actually, I basically taught myself. So at school, they taught MATLAB, which is a great language, but I wanted something. I like the openness aspect of Python. And so, I got really interested in engineering related libraries with Python, and modeling and simulation, things like that. That was really neat to me. I still enjoy coding. I still do it sometimes when I get free time. Yeah, just looking on places like GitHub, there's some really interesting projects that people come up with. There's orbital mechanics libraries, there's structural design libraries, there's another one that I think is neat is a program called FreeCAD, which you can make your own workbenches for. So I just really enjoy that kind of creativity and seeing what neat things people can come up with in terms of designing things, helping other people design things. That's pretty neat to me. So another thing that maybe you didn't know is that currently I give science demonstrations. So I go to different schools every day and I give science demonstrations on lots of different topics. So I do things about chemistry. I do things, I work for a company, but I do, chemistry. We do structures, things with Jenga blocks. We do ones about electricity, demonstrations using dry ice and carbon dioxide. What is it? We also do demonstrations about optical illusions, the science of magic, how things fly, right? The airplanes, forces of flight, forces, physics. We do things about physics, the science of toys, so the physics of how toys actually work. yeah, lots of neat demonstrations that we do. So yeah, if you're interested, I'd love to. If you're interested in that and you live in the DMV area, I'm sure I can refer you to my. I'm not the owner, but yeah, I'm sure I can refer you to them. It's called Mad Science. So yeah, and yeah, the last thing I guess I could say is that I opened a company a while ago, and it was called Brontosaurus Industries, and I had a great time doing it. Yeah, basically, it was a drop shipping store. So I would make designs. I made a lot of dog related designs, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of fun to make the designs. I used AI and I put them on mugs, and I had a website, and people could go to the website and you could see a lot of the designs. It's not up anymore, but I am thinking about maybe bringing something like that back one day, just because I really enjoyed making designs, and it's really fun to see what AI can come up with for images, and also just trying to make it fun, and you know. Yeah, making fun images, and putting it on mugs and things like that was a lot of fun for me. So yeah, those are just some things about me. So if you have any questions about any of those, feel free to ask me. I'm open to telling you about myself. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and it's been great talking to you. Looking forward to making some more educational videos for you guys. Thanks. Have a great day.